think we can start. The previous classes we have discussed about population distribution on the Earth's surface or in the world and in India, and the factors influencing population distribution. In the last class we have discussed about population density and population growth. Where it is being distributed in the Earth's surface or on the land and in India. So that's about population and population growth. But now we are going to another dynamics of the population, that is migration. So when we discuss about the population growth, I said there are three factors which influence the population growth of a place. Population growth may be negative or positive. Increase होगा नहीं तो decrease होगा. Both we will say it as population growth है. So positive होने से और नहीं तो negative होने से भी there are three factors. One is the birth rate, another one is the death rate, and the third important factor is the migration. तो एक जगह पे jaldi, within short span, if the number of population growth increase हुआ नहीं तो decrease हुआ, it is most probably the result of migration, either in migration or out migration. एक नया industry आया है एक जगह पे, so within a short time, within 1 month, within 1 year, there is immense increase in the population. People will come to work there. So ज़्यादा people उधर काम करने के लिए आएगा तो उसका family भी साथ में आएगा. So there need education facilities, health facilities, ये सब attached होगा. तो उधर भी आदमी लोग आएगा काम करने के लिए. तो service to this industrial area. And क्या होगा तो उसका मार्केट भी शुरू होगा. Then again there is giving input. तो ये सब people अंदर से within the area and from outside there is migration. नहीं तो एक जगह पे जल्दी वार होता है. Now we heard about the Ukraine. So within days the population has come down because the people are migrated to some other countries or some other places. So this migration can control the population growth. In the world right now, due to this migration, there are a lot of problems. So along with this migration, understanding what is migration, understanding the type of migration, we need to understand what are the causes of migration and what are the consequences of this migration. So what is this migration stand for? Migration is actually the movement of people from their regular environment to other. Abhi mera regular environment tha. It was I am from Kerala, so my area to ho gaya Kerala. My environment is Kerala tha, but for a job I have moved from Kerala to Arunachal Pradesh. So idhar aa gaya hai. So I have migrated from Kerala to Arunachal Pradesh, and for a long period of time, not for 1 day or 2 days. That can be considered as migration, but this is a long-term migration from one place to another. That is called migration actually. In the earlier time also, human beings are always a moving creature. ऐसा था. They were moving when they were in the earth till the day they have started moving from one place to another. Earlier time में ऐसा था, they were moving only for food and shelter because their basic needs. तो काम था. क्या था? They are adopted to nature. So अपना से food बना के नहीं खा रहा था. They will go to the nature, they will collect food, they will hunt, they will eat. ऐसा था. And they need shelter. The early time, the primitive men, they don't have the house to stay. So they have depend mostly on caves, and the tree के नीचे ऐसा कुछ जगह shelters they have. So they used to migrate, move, where they are getting food and the shelters. But right now the conditions change. Still, if the basic issue look, mostly for food and shelter, the people are moving, but the conditions change. The most migration on the Earth's surface is mainly for economic opportunities, for getting economic. For getting opportunity, job चाहिए, नहीं ये तो कुछ business करना है, ऐसा वाला कुछ economic opportunities मिलने के लिए people are migrating. Other than this, to join family, ऐसा भी होगा, मैरिज करके एक फैमिली से दूसरा रीजन में माइग्रेट हो रहा है. नहीं है तो सम कुछ तो ऐसा होगा, दूसरा फैमिली को उससे के साथ जुड़ने के लिए एक जगह पे होगा, टू गोइंग टू अपना सा फैमिली में आने के लिए. लाइक अभी एक हस्बैंड वाइफ है, तो हस्बैंड को एक जगह पे काम मिला है, नहीं ये तो वाइफ को एक जगह पे काम मिला है, ऑटोमेटिकली हस्बैंड और वाइफ move to that particular place. There are high possibility to move to join the family. If the father and mother is going, the children are also moved. Other than that, to study. So these are some of the social and economic factors. पढ़ने के लिए, migrating to some even from other district, people are moving to इटानगर for getting, अभी आरजू में, नहीं है तो हिमालय यूनिवर्सिटी में, नहीं है तो डॉन बॉस्को कॉलेज में, बहुत जगह में पढ़ने के लिए people are migrating. Students are migrating. अपना गांव से they are moving to other place. Other than this, main reason is the political reason. One is to escape from some sort of conflict. Fight हुआ है, नहीं तो कहीं पे war हुआ है. Like I said, Ukraine. When war हुआ तो they are moving to some other place. Other than अभी Afghanistan में government change हुआ है. So we have seen how the people are moving, running away. So that is a kind of conflict within the area. Then persecution. तो कुछ कम ऐसा crime किया होगा, they will be moved from that particular area. They will be executed to move to some other places. Then terrorism. If an area is laden with terrorism, abhi within India we know that we heard abhi Maoist ऐसा बहुत कुछ terrorist group ऐसा consider किया है. One wants revolution is other man's terrorism है. Still तो ऐसा जगह है where the people don't get a peaceful life. They will move from that place to another. Then ह्यूमन राइट वायलेशन जहां पे ज्यादा है, लाइक अभी एक गवर्नमेंट है, उधर एक डिक्टेटर है, सो पीपल विल ट्राई टू मूव फ्रॉम, बिकॉज दे डोंट गेट ए ह्यूमन राइट देयर, दे विल मूव फ्रॉम दैट प्लेस टू सम अदर प्लेस. तो ऐसा है अभी का माइग्रेशन. इन टर्म्स व्हाट दिस ह्यूमन माइग्रेशन स्टैंड फॉर इज the permanent change of residence by an individual or group. It excludes such movements as nomadism, migrant labor, then commuting people, then tourism. All of these are because transitory in nature. ऐसा है. So what is human migration? It is a permanent change of residence by an individual or group. ऐसा है. Other than this, it is not considered as human migration. अभी nomadism बोलने से उन लोग एक जगह से they will move to some other place in some season, and again if the seasons change or the climate change or the shelter or food, इसका तो condition change होगा तो they will move back to the same area. So that can't be considered as migration. Again, migrant labor है. जैसे कुछ काम के लिए, घर बनाने के लिए कुछ जगह से कुछ लोग आ रहे हैं, they are doing their work, and again what happens, they will move back to their home for short period of time. So that also not considered as human migration. Again, the commuting, day-to-day movement of the people. If somebody moving from Naharlagun to Itanagar or Itanagar to Naharlagun, and in the evening they will come back, they are called commuters. So that is also not considered as human migration. Then tourism, for enjoying a place, people will come, and again within 2 or 3 days or maximum within 1 week, they will move back to their hometown. So all these are not considered as human migration. It is considered as permanent or semi-permanent. Semi-permanent for long years if they are staying there. If they are moving away from their residence or their regular environment, they are considered as the migrants. And according to archaeologists, almost all the people of the Earth's surface are migrants. ये क्यों है? Because it is considered that human beings first evolved in Africa. Africa में evolution हुआ है, and within 2 lakh years back, Africa में हुआ है, and now they are spread to almost every continent. Europe, Asia, Australia, Americans, ये सब continent में they are spread. So what is इसका मतलब क्या है? They have been migrated from African region to other places. Earlier there were only one species, human species, Homo sapiens. पहले तो Homo erectus ऐसे बोलते birth है. So 2 lakh years ago, humans originated in Africa है. उधर से they have started spreading to other part of the world. So basically, all the human beings are considered as migrants. So that is migrant. So type of migration. So type of migration बोलने से there are different types of migration. Important them are internal migrants, moving within a state or a country or a continent. It can be external. अभी दूसरा side से देखने से it can be external. अभी within the state. So एक district से दूसरे district पे जा रहा है. So it can be considered external, district to district. But in reality, it is moving within a state. So internal, within Arunachal Pradesh, within Assam, within Meghalaya, within Mizoram, I say about myself, or within the country, from Arunachal Pradesh to Assam, from Arunachal Pradesh to West Bengal, from West Bengal to Arunachal Pradesh. So it's a kind of internal migration within the continents. So India, say, if we are moving to China, India to Russia, or India to Pakistan, or again Bangladesh to India, ऐसा जो भी हो, that can be considered internal. It will be intra-state होगा, within the state होगा, intra-country होगा, intra-continent भी हो सकता है. Then the external migration, so to other state. So it can comes in scope of internal migration. Within the country बोलने से other state में जाएगा. So it can either be considered external or internal migration. But in general, if we are moving from one place to, if a area is limited and if you are moving out of that area, it can be considered external migration. External migration within, outside the state, outside the country, outside the continent, all these come. This can also be considered, if it is outside the country, it is international migration. It is international migration also. So internal, intra-migration and international migration, internal, intra and international migrations, it's almost it's a related sector. Then another term is emigration, leaving one country to another country. If I am moving from India to USA, so what I am an immigrant. यहाँ से I am moving from India to America. And if I am reaching in America, I will be considered as immigrant. That process is called immigration or immigrant. Moving to a new country. Going from a country, immigration. Coming to a country, that is immigration. Then return migration, moving back to where you came from. As I said, I am coming from Kerala to Arunachal Pradesh. After some times, after some few years, I will back to Kerala. So that is actually my return. I am moving back to, let's say, return migration. Then seasonal migration. Just I said, अभी nomads है. तो ये लोग क्या करेगा? For getting food, एक जगह से दूसरे जगह पे जाएगा. Sometimes in winter season, sometimes in summer season. ऐसा season में they will go, and after तो ऐसा एक जगह पे winter में food नहीं मिलेगा, so they will move from that place to some other place. When the winter goes, they will come again back to that particular place. That is called seasonal migration. Only during the particular season they will move and come back. Usually this is practiced by birds. Birds ऐसा करता है ये seasonal migration. So these are some of the types of migration. Then another important name is migrants. Those who migrate is known as the migrant. UN Migration Agency define किया है a migrant as a person who is moving or has moved across an international border or within a state away from his or her habitual place of residence. एक जगह से दूसरे जगह पे, if a person is moving, he is known as the migrant. इसके लिए तो क्या क्या चीज कंसिडर नहीं करेगा? One is the person's legal status. The movement is voluntary or involuntary. अपना से खुद से कर रहे, नहीं है तो कुछ फोर्स उसके ऊपर, नहीं है तो अभी वार हुआ है तो बिना without we don't like that, still we are moving to some other place. That is involuntary. Then what cause for the movement? इसका तो क्या reason है? इसको ये समझने की जरूरी नहीं है. Maybe he may be moving as a refugee, sometimes or as a tourist. तो इसका तो क्या चीज है ये तो जानने की जरूरी नहीं. तो कितना दिन का स्टे है ये भी कंसिडर नहीं करेगा. That is called migrants. So migrants has its own type, but one is immigrant, a person who is leaving one country to another country. That's what I said. If I am moving from India to USA, I am an immigrant to India, but I am an immigrant to USA. If a person is moving from Bangladesh to India, that person in Bangladesh is known as immigrant, and in India is known as immigrant. And the third category is the refugees. Immigration mostly moving for tourism purpose के लिए, economic activities के लिए, business activities के लिए, education के लिए, ये सब होगा. लेकिन refugees ऐसा है, they are coming without the consent of that particular state. Moved to a new country because of problem in their former home. पहले जो area था उसी area पे they have some problems. So they are forced to move from that area to some other places. But the thing is that they may not be acceptable for this particular area. Still, they are forced to stay there. That is known as the refugees. They may not have houses, they may not have food, they don't have environmental, education, anything to do there. But still, they are forced to move from their home. That's why they are known as the refugees. In the world, refugee is one of the important economic problem and the economic, social, and cultural problem for many countries. Then factors influence, that are the causes of migration. Factors influencing migration. So considering the factors, there are two kind of factors which influences migration. One is push factor. एक जगह से बाहर जाने के लिए कुछ चीज होगा, कुछ कारण होगा. There should be some reason to move from one place to another. That is called push factor. Abhi, if I am expelling, if I am forced to move from my area to some other area, there will be two reasons. One is push factor, क्योंकि यहाँ नहीं रह पाएगा तो I will be forced, I will be pushed to some other place. Other than this, if I am finding some better region, मेरा जो region था उससे अच्छा region हमको मिला है, I am okay with this place, but I am finding a better life opportunity in some other place. ये क्या हो रहा है? वो जगह, it is pulling us from our area to that particular area. That is called pull factor. Attract करेगा. So these are the two factors which influences migration. One is push factor, which is actually forcing us to move away. Second one is pull factor, which is attracting us to go to that particular place. Again, this push factor and pull factor can be divided into multiple reasons. One is economic reason. Pull factor ऐसा है, एक जगह है, it has more job facility, better job facility, वो job का high wage मिलेगा, better life मिलेगा. All this comes, क्यों? इसको तो job मिलने से पैसा मिलेगा, अच्छा business opportunity होगा, जो भी हो इसका reason, finally he will get or she will get more economy. So that is pull factor. तो क्या होगा? एक जगह में था, इसमें few jobs था, job opportunities कम था, उधर wage कम था, उधर over populate था, क्या होगा? तो यहाँ से highly यहाँ का लोगों को push करेगा बाहर जाने के लिए. And if he is coming out and he is seeing more of job opportunity, he will be attracted to this particular place. So that is economic reason. Next one, social reasons. Mainly principles of religious tolerance, cultural, ethical, and racial acceptance, good education, safety feeling, secure feeling, woman's safety, child safety, property के लिए safety, ये सब सोचने से, that is अभी एक जगह पे again, there if I am moving, I am अभी हम एक हिंदू है, नहीं तो क्रिश्चियन है, तो उसी एरिया पे if I am moving, even though there is multiple religion, and even if I am coming from some other religion and I am feeling that yes, I am secure there, I am sure I can move to that place. That is one of the pull factors. Then cultural, ethical, and racial acceptance. ये सब accept करने का, if it is an educated society, नहीं ये तो ऐसा highly developed society है, where all this cultural, ethical, racial has this acceptance, so we don't have any fear. If I am a black and this is a white area, racially बोलने से, black and white बोलने से, तो white है, तो if the white can accept this black or black can accept a white, so that is tolerance, that is acceptance. Then good education system, good health facilities, yes, upon good infrastructure, yes, upon say we can move to this, will pull इसी area पे, it will attract the population. On the other hand, if there is intolerance for religious activities, for cultural activities, ethnical acceptance, racial problem है, क्या होगा? If I am not the part of that racial group or ethnical group or the cultural group, I will be fed up with that and I will force to move from that place to some other place. That is push factor for social reason. Then poor education facilities, poor health facilities, yes, sir, almost opposite to the pull factor. So I will be moved from this area to some other places. Then third one is physical reason. One is attractive environment, good terrain condition, less risk of disasters, vegetation का अच्छा vegetation cover है, then attractive climate है. ये सब होने से that is physical factor है. If there is a land with plain area, with a high drainage, अच्छा पानी मिलता है उसी पे, suitable for agriculture है, तो environment भी अच्छा है, vegetation cover भी ज़्यादा है, climate तो moderate है, ज़्यादा ठंडा भी नहीं, ये cold भी नहीं है, ज़्यादा hot भी नहीं है, तो क्या होगा? People will start staying at this place. Instead, if it is a hilly terrain, if you look at our Arunachal Pradesh, if you go to the interior part, we know the population is comparatively less because either that area will be forest cover, बहुत ज़्यादा forest cover area होगा, नहीं ये तो terrain irregular होगा, उधर पहुंचने के लिए बहुत मुश्किल होगा. If you look at Itanagar, it is opposite. It is easily accessible है, road facilities ज़्यादा है, तो क्या होगा? उधर से जहाँ पे ये सब मुश्किल है, people will think, why should I stay there? I will go to that particular area where I will get maximum infrastructure facilities. And if is a place where there is no natural disasters, अभी landslide कम होने का एक जगह है, उधर landslides कम है, नहीं तो उधर flood नहीं आएगा, और तो we will go to that place. तो flood prone area में mostly people don't stay. तो ऐसा वाला चीज को we will say it as physical reason, push factors for physical reasons. Then political reason. Political reason के अंदर pull factor में होगा attractive state policies, government support, ये सब state policies अच्छा होगा, that is suitable for the inhabitant, उधर local citizens के लिए तो उधर का अच्छा है state policies, तो people will move to that particular area. Again government support, government पैसा देता है, for अभी हमारे लिए काम नहीं है, तो government if is giving money, मेरे लिए अभी उतना ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं है and I want to be educated, so government is giving some stipend for education, so people will start staying at that place. Again, push factor, that includes mainly war. War बोलने से like Ukraine, अभी एक war हुआ है, तो people will run away from that particular place. अफगानिस्तान का अभी बहुत जगह है, इसराइल में भी अभी बहुत जगह पे ऐसा है, there are a lot of problems. Internal war हो रहा है, तो people will automatically move from that place to some other places. Then disturbed political systems. What is happening in Afghanistan right now, Sri Lanka में अभी जो हो रहा है सही, तो क्या हो गया उधर? Political system पूरा खराब हो गया श्रीलंका में. Government has invested in many things, but they are unable to make economy from that, and people are suffering from economic poor economy. तो क्या हो गया? There started revolution. So there is a disturbed political system existing right now, and there are places where there is monarchy and dictatorship. Korea, Kim Jong-un, तो उसका तो अपना dictatorship. Early it was अभी Nazi by Hitler, Mussolini, ये सब क्या था? वो लोग dictatorship था. So क्या होगा? People are not feeling secure. If the ruler think that no, he is not required for this state, kill him, khatam hai. So people are feeling they are not safe there, so they will migrate from that place to some other places. So these are the some of the reasons: social, political, physical, yes, सब reason होगा. These are the causes of migration. It can be divided into two. One is pull factor and another one is push factor. One is attracting, one is repelling. Then migration in a world perspective. approximately 60% of the migration is between developing and between developed state. दो डेवलपिंग कंट्री के बीच में नहीं तो दो डेवलप्ड कंट्री के बीच में होगा almost 60% of the migration. 37% of migration is from developing country to developed countries, and only 3% is between developed country to developing countries. इतना सा migration changes है. Maximum migration is between डेवलपिंग कंट्री के बीच में होगा, नहीं है तो डेवलप्ड. अंडर डेवलप में उतना ज्यादा माइग्रेशन नहीं है. दे विल मूव फ्रॉम देयर विद इन द इंडस कंट्री. माइग्रेशन ही उसी एरिया पे ज्यादा है. अदर देन दिस इट इज मेनली मूविंग फ्रॉम डेवलपिंग कंट्री बिटवीन डेवलपिंग कंट्री और बिटवीन डेवलप्ड कंट्री. And if you take the movement from developing country to developed country, it is almost 37%. And from developed country to developing countries, that is not mainly for economic activities, sometimes for understanding the culture, for as a tourist they will move. That is almost 3%. And if you look the international migration, increase in the international migration, in 2000 it was almost estimated 150 million migrants now. When it comes to 2010, it was 240. Almost 50% of them in high income countries. So 2014 हो गया. 2000 में 150 था, it was increased to 2014 within 10 years, and it was 281 million in 2020. तो ऐसा इसका increase हो गया है if you take the world perception. And this is the data of World Bank, how from where the most people are migrating. If you take 10 countries, 6.2% इसका तो मूवमेंट है. पहले तो इतना सा था. 1995 इंडिया स्टैंड्स फर्स्ट इन 1995. 2000 में भी इंडिया है, बट इन 2005 China came first. Then again back in 2010, India stands first, and 2015 again India, and 2020 also India stands first in the remittance of migrants. इतना ज़्यादा लोग यहाँ से migrate कर रहे हैं, mostly for economic activities and moving towards mainly to USA, Canada, Saudi, नहीं तो Middle East countries में maximum migration हो रहा है. Followed by Philippines तो नीचे आकर अभी still in the fourth position. Start in second position, now in 2000 it is in fourth position में है. And if you look Germany से भी migration हो रहा है, France में से ही migration हो रहा है. तो ऐसा migration, like if you look, maximum migration is for India, and right now we have in the second position, that is China. Then maximum acceptance, migrants को maximum accepted करने वाला state है, सबसे पहले आएगा US. It remains first throughout. 1995 में सबसे ज़्यादा migrants were moving to USA था. 2000 में, 2005 में, 2010 में, 2015 and 2020. This is the data from World Bank है, so it is dependable. Then Saudi Arabia था till 2010. Again it came to third one. तो इसके पहले क्या होगा, नीचे से UAE, United States of Arab Emirates, sorry, United Arab Emirates इसके पहले आ गया. And third one Germany था. Now the migrants थोड़ा सा acceptance कम हो गया है, came to the fifth position. If you look, India nowhere. So maximum migration USA, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Germany, ये सब countries maximum migration आ रहा है. And if you look the migration level, based on the continents. So the number of international migrants has increased in all UN regions, but has increased to a greater degree in Europe and Asia other than migrants. सबसे ज्यादा ओशियाना में 9.38 मिलियन था, मिलियन माइग्रेंट्स हुआ है, इंक्रीज हुआ है. Then this is 1990s and it is 2020 है, इसमें इतना ज्यादा इंक्रीज हुआ है. एंड लैटिन अमेरिका में 14.8 मिलियन का इंक्रीज हुआ है माइग्रेंट्स का, अफ्रीका में 25.4 मिलियन, नॉर्थ अमेरिका में 58.7 मिलियन. बट इफ यू लुक एशिया एंड यूरोप, it is almost same, that is 85.6 and 86.7 million. उतना सा ज्यादा माइग्रेंट्स बढ़ गया है एशिया एंड यूरोप में. So that is the condition prevails in the world. To take the number of migrants within the country, अभी each country में ऐसा है, सबसे ज्यादा migrants USA में है. And if you look India, we can see there are lot of migrants. यहाँ पे we are facing lot of migrants from अभी बांग्लादेश से आ रहा है, पाकिस्तान से आ रहा है, अफगानिस्तान से migrants आ रहा है. So we are also facing some problems. If you look, सबसे ज्यादा आ रहा है, ये एक ही PDF है और ना और भी PDF है, एक ही है. PDF तो ऐसा बन रहा है ना, कंटिन्यूसली टॉपिक के साथ में अटैच होता है ना, तो इसलिए तो ऐसा था. कुछ तो टॉपिक एक के साथ दूसरा भी लेना होगा, इसलिए तो सेकंड में जाएगा. फिर मैक्सिमम माइग्रेंट इफ यू लुक टू Saudi Arabia and UAE region, and if you look, migrants are moving to European countries. This is why it is saying that 86.7 migrants within अभी इसमें है, यूरोपियन कंट्री में है. If you look, this is in Asia. एशिया का क्या है, इसमें तो बहुत ज्यादा एरिया है, तो उतना ज्यादा फील नहीं होगा. It is been followed by अभी अफ्रीका में है, अफ्रीका इसमें मैक्सिमम है विद इन द रीजन से इट इज मूविंग. So this is the migration condition perception in world context. Now we can move to the migration in India. If we go in detail regarding the migration and refugees issues, it will turn to be a political and socio-economic discussion. So instead of that, we can go to the data and we can directly see how it is being this data is being influenced the migration in India. So India is also one of the popular country है where the international migrants occupy. It is said that almost 44.9 million foreigners is in India during 2020. उतना सा हमारा increase है. Makes the 14th top destination country globally. That is why अभी NCR नहीं है तो citizenship bill ये सब, that is why we are following, because we are not like the developed countries. ऐसा नहीं है. We have economic restriction है. We have enough population. By within India, we are the second largest population and we are almost 1.4 billion. 140 crore population हमारे लिए है. So we are struggling to feed all this population, and if we are taking some people from outside, it will be an overburden for the country. That's why. But still, we know our neighboring countries, many of them are in underdeveloped or in developing stage mein hai, so they are depending India. So people are migrating to get a better life in India. That is what occurring. That is the main problem faced by India. So this immigrant is almost 0.4%. if we take our population. But world इसमें बोलने से almost 40 top destination country में हमारा नाम भी आएगा. If you take this data, like this data, USA इसमें Saudi Arabia, Germany, Switzerland, France, Russia, Netherlands, UK, Luxembourg and rest of Korea ये बोलने से. So if you look at the countries from where people are migrating to India, सबसे ज़्यादा population is coming from Bangladesh. That is almost 24,88,000. Then the second country is Nepal, Pakistan. That is almost 8,33,000. Then third one is from Nepal. That is 7,34,000. Sri Lanka 1,85,000. Then China 1,08,000. Myanmar 57,000. Uganda 45,000. UAE 38,000. USA 33,000. And Brunei from 24,000. So these are the major migrants. This is the data taken from United Nations का data से लिया है. तो सबसे ज्यादा इंडिया में माइग्रेशन हो रहा है बांग्लादेश से, followed by Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, China, Myanmar, etc. I am not going into इतना ज्यादा क्वेश्चन इसमें से नहीं पूछेगा, but for a basic knowledge I have given this. Now we can move to the consequence of migration. If we say about the consequence, it is not only the negative consequence it has some positive impact also. Let's see the positive side. After that, we can move to the negative side. So positive side, if you take, one is unemployment is reduced and people get better job opportunities. This is not for the रेमिटेंस कंट्री का नहीं है, जहां से पॉपुलेशन मूव हो रहा है उसी कंट्री का ये पॉपुलेशन का बोल रहा है. तो एक माइग्रेंट एक जगह से आ रहा है एंड इज कमिंग टू अदर कंट्री वेयर ही इज गेटिंग बेटर लाइफ अपॉर्चुनिटी, बेटर लाइफ. सो व्हाट ही इज गेटिंग बेटर एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड बेटर जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज उसी जगह पे ही इज गेटिंग. सो for that migrant it is good. Then migration also helps to improve the quality of life of the people. If he is coming from a poor country and he is moving to a developed country, the quality of life automatically changes because the government has the economy and he is getting better job opportunity, better social condition, economic condition. ये सब इसको तो अच्छा मिलेगा. It improves the social life of the people as they learn about new culture, customs, language, which help them to improve the brotherhood among the people. Then migration of skilled work laborers leads to a greater economic growth of the region. तो ऐसा है, जो migrate करके आ रहा है, if they are skilled, then that area they have good opportunities. That's why if you look the visa policies of Canada, Germany, Australia, जो भी हो, they are actually looking for skilled laborers. They give easy visa for those who are skilled laborers है, उसको ही maximum visa they will provide because it will help to population उन लोगों का कम है, so they can make an optimum population. Along with that, they can increase the economic growth as well. Then if somebody moving from a developing country to developed country or underdeveloped country to developing country, what will the children get? They will get better opportunity to study. Then population density is reduced and the birth rate decreases. ये कैसे होगा? एक जगह से दूसरे जगह, as I said, there is positive and negative growth of population. Negative growth होगा उसी जगह जहाँ से population is moving. So उधर population density कम होगा. Then negative impacts. So more than the positive impacts, most of the country has negative impacts of migration. The loss of person from a rural area impact the level of output and development of the rural area. If you take rural urban migration, that is also part of migration. तो क्या हो गया? Agriculture से they are shifting to some other sectors, industrial, service, quaternary, जो भी sector में they are moving. Maybe that person is a skilled person for agriculture sector. So उसी area पे there will be impact. The flux of the workers in urban area increases competition of the job, house, school facilities, etc. So population growth जब भी पढ़ा है, I said one of the problem is urbanization. Urbanization में employment का problem है, slums का problem है, then pollution का problem है, poverty का problem है, ये सब आएगा. तो I said अर्बन एरिया डेवलप करने से कंपटीशन होगा जॉब के लिए, तो हाउसेस रेसिडेंट्स के लिए तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, स्कूल फैसिलिटीज, एजुकेशन फैसिलिटीज, हेल्थ फैसिलिटी है, सब में प्रॉब्लम ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा इफ द नंबर ऑफ पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीजेस. Again, too much of pressure on natural resource, amenities and services. This also when we studied about the population growth, we said natural resource में और ज़्यादा burden बढ़ जाएगा. So we can relate this migration directly to population growth. If the immigration is more, what happens is there is population growth, positive population growth. आगे जाएगा population growth. Result, overuse of resources, amenities and services. Then it is difficult for a villager to survive in urban areas because in urban area there is no natural environment and pure air. They have to pay for each and everything. This is for pure village people के लिए यह तो मुश्किल होगा. Then migration change the population of a place. Therefore, the distribution of population is uneven in India. Why? If you look at the population distribution, you can see most of our metropolitan cities are overcrowded. There is problem of slums, and in the village areas, in the rural areas, the population is comparatively very less. If you take Mumbai, Kolkata, Delhi, जो भी हो metropolitan city, जो भी, if you take, we can see a lot of slums there. Then many migrants are completely illiterate and uneducated. Therefore, they are not only unfit for in most of the job, but lack basic knowledge and life skills. So rural area से poverty, जो भी reason से they are moving to the urban area. Maybe they are illiterate. If they are illiterate and uneducated, they can't be placed anywhere in the urban area as well, or they can be given some local jobs. So they will be underwaged hoga, so they can't feed their families. So there will be lot of problems. Then poverty make them unable to live a normal and healthy life. So all this can be related to population growth. Children growing up in poverty have no access to proper nutrition, education, and health facilities. Then migration increase in slum area. We have discussed in the cities, increase many problems such as unhygienic condition, crime, and pollution. It automatically aa jayega because there is no space and lot of population, and there is no economic. And if there is no economic activity, people will move to some criminal activities. Along with that, hygienic तो नहीं होगा, पानी के लिए मुश्किल होगा. So they will use the natural water resource. They will exploit it. They will overuse it. They will throw their garbages there. So there will be pollution as well. And other thing, sometimes migrants are exploited. So migrants, उसका तो वो particular area का idea नहीं होगा. So they can be exploited. यहाँ ऐसा है बोल के उन लोगों को काम कराने से automatically they will get be exploited. Migration is one of the main causes of increasing nuclear family, where the children grow up with a wider family, without a wider family circle. ऐसा भी है. Because when we are moving, migrating, mostly the whole family will not move. The part of the family where there is mother, father and children will move to some other place. So क्या होगा? The children don't get a chance to live in a wider family, joint family के साथ. The same problem I am facing also. I have a bigger family, joint family in my hometown. But when I moved along with my daughter and my wife. So my daughter is not getting a chance to mingle with my parents. It's her grandmother, grandfather, my brother, जिसके साथ इसको तो mingle नहीं हो रहा है. So she will be more conservative in nature. So these are some of the consequences of migration. Okay, that's it. These are some of the reference. I have given the text reference like Population Geography by Hassan and Human Geography by 𝐬𝐞𝐬𝐬𝐲. You can refer that also, but you don't get the latest data. Better for getting latest data, you can depend right now on internet, but you want to search the data source. If it is by UN, World Bank, you can depend. Now, Census of India, you can depend. Other than the local website, you can't say that is an authorized one. That's it regarding migration. तो population का एक साइड खत्म हो गया है. Population distribution, population density, population growth, and finally migration. Okay, can we stop for the day?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.